10 years ago when we decided to embark, we said we need good quality local people that can, you know, got the right sort of ingredients that we can develop, train, coach, mentor, and then that can ensure that the culture of Wilmot Dixon, something that we're immensely proud of, carries on into this new region.
We didn't come into Bristol with an aim of just coming here for a few years and disappearing. We were here for the long haul, so we wanted to make a statement of intent about we're here, we want to stay here, and give the sales and marketing team something solid from which to punch out from.
Wilmot Dixon was in my life every single day. There were lots of contractors here already, excellent ones that we were going to compete against regularly, and defining what our USP was to those clients and consultants who were supporting those clients was quite a fascinating thing to do. It was also excellent to have the Wilmot Dixon brand and core values.
Because of the good people and also the processes that Wilmot Dixon as a group bring, what it's allowed us to do is have a high level of performance. So if you talk to our clients and our consultants that we work with, we have become, for those that have experienced us in the main, a contractor of choice.
Well, clearly when we opened the office up 10 years ago, we had no work in the region. But we know we needed to commit to an area in order to get the right people and to get those opportunities. First one was with the University of West of England. It was a relatively small value contract, but it was putting in GDA works in a live campus, something that we're really experienced with our health and our education background.
The two buildings that you've built for us are probably, they're BREEAM excellent and probably were world class. We were trying to gear buildings to look very much like the subjects that were being taught in them. So clearly this was an architect's studio, and the plan was to encourage students to go in and on the day that they arrive think that they're at work. The building itself therefore had to be state of the art and inspirational, and despite the sort of innovative design, the construction was not an issue. So that's what we ought to be achieving. Once we decide what we want, we then come back and get it. That's down to the Wilmot approach to this, and I'm sure they wanted it to be a success as much as we did, and that's great. I've engaged with one or two of the directors at Wilmot Dixon, and I don't see any negatives. This all seems to be positive. Talking about sustainability, people are the most important asset, and everything that is being said is right on the button as far as I'm concerned.
And about 8 years ago, we were appointed preferred contractor for this building, and we completed it 5 years ago. This really was the catalyst as far as I'm concerned.
Very, very difficult and challenging project, budgetary-wise very challenging, and building in a city centre is never easy, and an extension and refurbishment as well. So it had everything sort of not going from it from a risk point of view, but it was perfect for us to showcase what we could do in this marketplace. Everything went swimmingly well after that, thankfully, which is why we're still a showcase job for us now, and I think after all these years it still looks as sharp and as good as it did when we handed it over, which is a testament to both the design and the delivery.
People like the building, they love coming into the foyer. Now we can feed them, we can water them, we can make them feel comfortable before they go and see an event. Before we had this, we had a small area which probably couldn't handle more than about 400 people. Now we can handle an entire audience in that space. It just makes such a difference. Wilmot Dixon make you feel part of their team. It means that we can all work together. Communication is excellent. The guys here were right from square one, very confident, they knew what they were talking about. We felt very, very good working with them. We never actually had to cancel any performances or anything like that for when they were working with us. So the feedback we had from the build process was really, really, really strong. We're very proud of the building and we try to keep it in good shape and so on even now, 5 years on. We keep finding other bits of it that we can use for different functions and so on. It's a great place to work.
Our delivery on that was something that they hadn't experienced before, so it was on budget, on time and to high quality. At the same time, some of our competitors weren't quite getting the same results out in the region.
The SCAPE framework has been huge for us as well. It's allowed us to go deeper into the southwest. We've now got a really strong presence down in Devon, doing an awful lot of work over in Dorset, and then as you're coming back up anti-clockwise, if you like, we've been in Swindon, Cheltenham, Hereford, obviously back into Bristol.
The SCAPE framework's probably been the biggest thing that's underpinned our ability to really expand successfully, I guess, and the most significant client over that period has been North Somerset.
They place a great deal of emphasis on collaboration and partnership working, which for us, we're one of the lowest costing local authorities in England, works very, very well. It's been 7 years since we've been working with Wilmotics, and I think the first project was St Catherine's School in Pill in North Somerset. It was quite a difficult project, difficult timescales to meet, and I think that project really set the scene about the way we were going to intend to work in that sort of framework fashion. And it worked really well. We won a couple of national awards with it. So I think what we've developed from the St Catherine's project was how we were going to collaborate in the pre-contract period. So that meant Wilmotics and staff, or colleagues as we call them, they were the same ID badges as us. They come and sit in our office and work with us to rattle out the value that we need to get out of these projects. And we developed from there then a number of tools and approaches, and the benefit of framework working meant we could take that from one project to the other and become more efficient, more cost effective. And in the end, I suppose we've got to the point where we've delivered something like £100 million worth of work overall, and still delivering work with Wilmotics. So there's a genuine culture of collaboration, but also willingness to accept almost client responsibilities in dealing with users and other stakeholders within that project. And they brought that to the southwest. It so happens that that was an excellent fit for us and exactly what we were looking for. And it's interesting, the regional market, that there doesn't seem to be anyone else providing that offering. So I think that's something that's been a great advantage to us.
We've got involved in a number of frameworks, a number of projects like Colston Hall, big significance, iconic building. So I think we've actually created our own footprint in the area. It's building on that footprint now is the challenge. And when I look at it at the moment, we are a leading contractor in that area in our own right.
We operate locally, regionally, with a national outlook, and I think that it makes it a very attractive place to work. You know, we really do put people first. It's a major feature, I think, against our opposition.
We've got to realise that when we stand in any of the buildings that we've constructed, the physical work has been carried out by our valued supply chain. Without those guys producing these projects in a safe, responsible manner to the high quality that we demand, it's just fantastic. Without these guys, where would we be? They're an extension of Wilmotics in my eyes. This is why we embrace our supply chain management, and we like to keep the same supply chain over and over again. So it's just a big thank you to you guys, because without you, we wouldn't have anything to show off.
One of the biggest delights for me was when a client said to me, well, surely you're now one of the names in Bristol. And to hear that said to me when you go from day one of saying who, why, Wilmot Dixon to, well, surely you are one of the biggest names in the area was phenomenal.
So we've got a very, very sound base coming out of recession now to look at the opportunities that present themselves, some more diversity in sectors and client base, and to establish ourselves as not one of but the leading main contractor in the region.